All right, we might make a start. Thank you so much. We are getting just a few more chairs, so sorry for those who don't have a chair at the moment. I would like to welcome absolutely everybody here this evening. Thank you so much for taking the time in being here. Tonight is about delivering a bit of information about next year and hopefully answering some questions that you may have. Before we begin, I'd like to extend our appreciation for the Dja Dja Wurrung people, the traditional custodians of the land we live, learn, and work on. We pay our respects to leaders and elders past, present, and emerging, including any elders who may be present with us today. So, just to begin, we're going to do a couple of introductions. For those people who have been here, you may know these faces. For those who haven't, welcome. So my name is Demi Pye and I have been in charge of the grade 6 to 7 transition for this year. So hopefully, and it was really lovely to see a lot of the students have recognised who I am. So that was a real positive. And for families, you may have seen me or we may have been in contact. Miss Hollis.
Welcome everyone, welcome to our incoming Year 7 students. As I've said to you, all the positive things that have had this year, we're really, really excited to have you starting with us this year. It was great to meet some of you as you came in, collect your information packs and start to get to know your names. And I look forward to working with all of our students next year. And we also have all of our families as well. So welcome to our families as well. It's really great to have you here at Eagle Hawk Secondary College.
We also have our assistant principals, Miss Alice, who is not here at the moment. We have Mr. Smythe, who is acting assistant principal at the moment. And we also have Mr. Hart, who you would have seen flipping the sausages outside. So those are our assistant principals. Thank you. So this evening, this presentation will be recorded. Now, the purpose of this being recorded is so that we can distribute the link for those people who may still have some questions, feeling a bit nervous, need a little bit of extra information. There will be questions or time to ask questions at the end of it. You're more than welcome to come see us, come have a chat with us, and we can answer those questions as well. Today, we're going to be covering topics like the Bendigo Education Plan, different services and facilities. We will talk about our TAs, which is a huge role and a huge part, especially for the students who are here today. We'll be talking about the technology, what our schedule will look like, our upcoming statewide transition day, and also what the start of next year will look like as well. I am going to hand over to Mr. Smythe to have a chat for the first half of the presentation, and then we will be having some further discussions.
Okay, so I've been involved in the Bendigo Education Plan for 15 or so years. I know a little bit about it and can hopefully give you enough information regarding opportunities that exist within the BEP and answer any questions that you may have regarding the BEP too. Okay. Part of our initiatives with the BEP are around sort of Berry Street trauma-informed practice. Some of you may be familiar with these in your primary schools as well. Okay. The Bendigo Instrumental Program is an opportunity for students to participate in, and I'll talk more about these as I go along. The Athlete Development Program as well, again, is another opportunity that I'll discuss in a couple of slides' time. And then there are sort of goals that we utilise and work towards together as the four sort of Bendigo Education Plan secondary schools, looking to support the the students within our colleges to be able to transition from either like here to Bendigo Senior or other educational institutions or the workplace, things like that too. The Bendigo Instrumental Music Program is an opportunity that Year 7 students at Eagle Hawk will get to try out within like the first, say, week or so of them starting next year. Like I said, early term one, information for parents will also be conveyed to you about the types of instruments that your child does have the opportunity to learn with like a one-on-one instructor or within a smaller group if need be. So there are some bands and things like that where it might be beneficial, for the instructor to have the students work into. Okay. The elements of the, I suppose, instruments you can see there: brass, woodwind, percussion, strings, and guitar. You can jump on the BIMP website as well. I'll convert that into a hyperlink there so that you can just click on it to see the types of instruments offered as part of the BIMP program. There's a lot of info on this next slide, so I'll just try and get through it pretty promptly. Okay. ADP runs from Year 7 right through to Year 12 if you do continue on to Bendigo Senior. There are a number of excellent coaches in their respective fields, but then also coaches of, quality, training and health and things like that relating to the ADP program. There is a significant contribution around that, but again, like you get access to people like Andy Buchanan, who is representing Australia and things like that in the athletic space at this point in time. Like I said, significant contribution for ADP full enrolment with the technical squad training that's usually hosted out of Bendigo Southeast with regard to their squads in the mornings. That's, like I said, $1,400, $1,450. But then, like, no technical squad, but training with people to, use the weights programs, learn running technique, things like that as well. Just here on site, that's $575. Okay, they run depending on the type of, I suppose, sport that is, the niche area of your child will depend on sort of the morning technical squads occur at BSC. Okay. Chris Hogan is the program coordinator. There's a link to his email there. Darcy Richards, who is our on-site coordinator, and there's also, like I said, the access to the site, the ADP site, that you can jump on and have a look and see what's offered there. Facilities that are available here and services as well. Okay, your general intersport days, things like that. I've seen Mr. Tricerico out there as well. He has been our sports coordinator, and he'll be hoping that as many of you take the opportunity to participate in sports that, you would like to try out at, that are represented on the page here. Okay. We did not too bad at table tennis as well, pushing one of the other teams. We came second in the Year 7 competition earlier this year, and so we'll probably look to go one better in Year 7 next year. School sports days, generally, your general days that you probably have had the opportunity to participate in at your primary school, things like swimming sports, athletics, cross country, but we're going to have a larger push on sort of participation. Okay, not everyone's a sporty spice and things like that either, but we're going to try and obviously foster a sense of community in and on those days. The Doubting community, the Green community, is a very good community at that in terms of getting everybody around and supporting the people that are participating on that day. So again, like, these sports days are all about participation, getting involved. If you're not actually active on those days and having a go at the events because they're not your thing, cheering and getting behind your mates is what we encourage. The ESC sports program, it's an opportunity for students sort of in Year 7 and Year 8 that are willing to extend themselves with regard to a particular or a range of sporting activities that may help with regard to participating on those or in those sports activities on, the couple of slides ago. Okay. It is like, we will need a number of people that are willing to have a go in this program to sign up, because then we'll run a separate class for that, where they'll be, really targeted, with regard to the, the activities and things like that around the, like the volleyball, table tennis, cricket, football, things like that. Okay. So we'll have some application sheets available for you. If we don't have them here, we can get them to you at the general office. Okay. Okay. Country buses. If your child lives within, I suppose, more than 4.8 kilometres from the school, okay, there is an application that we'll make available to you to be able to get like a little country bus notification, like on a bit of a card as well to be able to access those. The bus coordinator does work out of BSC and is not here, but should be able to be reached and contacted again. We'll try and provide any information if you do have any questions around accessing country buses and things like that. Bikes, we've got a bike shed. We do ask the students not ride them on school grounds, maybe similar requirements, I suppose, to primary school as well. We try and have them locked away at the start of the school day, nice and promptly, and then unlocked at the end of the day so that getting, to and from school. Okay. The bike shed is, you've probably seen the bike shed if you're parked, out this side of the school ground there. And there are there is enough space in there to host a number of bikes in the shed. Canteen is open during recess and lunch, and we'll talk about the day structure a little bit later on. We start with lunch during the day and then have recess after. You can pre-order via the Quicker, the QKR app. Keep an eye on Compass for menus that do come out. You can check the menus on the Quicker app, obviously, if you do need to order there. You can order on Quicker, but they do still take cash and card and things like that as well. We'll talk about mobile phones later, but we prefer if you do have tap and go that mobile phones are away, and we'll talk about I suppose the expectations around phones a little bit later on too. So if you can, use the Quicker app. Cash still works, and then like an actual debit card if need be. Okay. Uniform in the packs that have been handed out as well. There's some information around how to access uniform with regard to the State Schools Relief funding that you have the opportunity to access. Uniform, we do work through Centre Vic Clothing. The website is there as well. It is, just in Long Gully, not too far away. And I have mentioned State Schools Relief, which is in your pack. With regard to uniform, there has been a bit of a change in terms of expectations across all secondary schools in the state, but it doesn't really impact us here. As long as students have, either a jumper or a shirt with our logo on it, we're okay with that as well. Okay. Any questions on uniform? Yep.
So that all families have access to the state school
Yeah.
voucher, that's all families or just with the healthcare card?
With a healthcare card works, yeah, as well. I think. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'll look into that for you, and we'll have a chat after because I thought it was for all, but if it on the forms it did say, healthcare card, just like the CSEF funding, that's something we can investigate and get back to you. Okay, yeah, cool. Just on CSEF, again, healthcare card can apply for CSEF funding. Any funding that you do have or currently exists with regard to your primary schools, that will look to get rolled over when students transfer across from primary to secondary. It has gone up, which is pleasing to see, which is $400 this year. And it's designed to help with, obviously, like it says there, camps, excursions, and access to sporting days as well. Attendance, we obviously want to see our students here as often as possible. And the fastest and preferred way to let us know if your child can't be here at school for whatever reason is via Compass. again, I think I may not have mentioned it earlier, but yeah, information about Compass will be shared with you shortly on how to get on and access if Compass isn't the like the management system of your of your primary school there too. Compass is just like the place to go in terms of seeing information about like timetables and upcoming events, notifications, information from the school shared with you is yeah, one way that we do share that on Compass, but there are other ways as well, like on our Facebook page and things like that, and our Instagram. Our plan. This is this is sort of my area as well. I'm the curriculum assessment and reporting leader when I'm not the acting AP. And yeah, so year sevens, we do ask you to do your best go at NAPLAN. All right. Um, Again, we sort of ask you to try and do your best writing, reading, grammar and punctuation, spelling and numeracy. There will be catch-up opportunities if you do miss one if you are away, sort of after our year seven camp. Okay. And there are opportunities to discuss adjustments and things like that that are required for your child with your teacher advisor or say English or maths teacher if you have open lines of communication with them as well. That's about it for me. I'll hand back over to Demi. But again, if you do have, I did race through that. I am sorry. But yeah, if you do have any questions, feel free to hit us up at the end.
So, as we said, there is a lot of information tonight. We feel that having a time like this is really important to be able to pass on this. I know it can be a long session at times, but it is very important to answer some questions that you may have. So, technology is a really big point that we do talk about as well. So, as Mr. Smythe said, Compass is our go to for everything. It's about marking attendance, it's where you get your reports, consent forms, payments, etc. I do know that some families would or should have received an email to be able to log on to it. If not, there should be information in your pack. Now, I do know going out to a few of the primary schools that some families are having a little bit of trouble due to the crossing of the apps that they use. So, this is something that we can have a chat about further and provide assistance with that too. For the students here and also families, it is where you will find your timetable. It is on Compass and you can see it, and it makes it easy to be able to view it as well. A really big question that we have is about computers. So here at Eaglehawk Secondary College and all of the schools in Victoria, it is the bring your own device. There are sessions during the Ready to Learn interviews and also the first week of schooling to help set up the computers, get on the devices. I know that there will be a lot of questions about computers. We do say that if you are requiring some assistance in getting a computer, that you contact the general office. It is important to have laptops, but more we can answer questions on that as well because I know that is again a really big topic. Mobile phones. Huge question that I got from the students going out to the primary schools. So all of the students were asking about mobile phones. We have the same policy where we cannot use mobile phones within the school. You should not have your mobile phone on you. It should be locked in your locker. We also provide phone lockers, which you can see at the back of the rooms as well. When students are using mobile phones during school, we do follow our behaviour management guide. So that's steps that the teachers take to ensure that we are not using it. This is not a school rule, this is a policy for everyone. So it's the same as in primary school where you cannot be using your phones if you have one. We cannot be using it here at high school either. And it is important that they are locked in either your lockers, which you'll see at the back there, or in the phone lockers you will also have access to. If there is an emergency where parents or carers have to contact their child, it is important that you call the office and we relay that message ASAP. So there is means of being able to contact the student if there is that required contact to be made. TAs and student support. So what we have is we have a teacher advisor. So a teacher advisor is a consistent point for the students to go to. We have a TA program that runs from 9 a.m., which is at the start of the day, until 9:20. It's where the students come together in their class, in their group, and they meet. They go through things such as schedules, they go through things such as Berry Street respectful relationships, and it is a really important chance to build that connection. We really want people coming to TA, and we really want people to be able to connect with others around. The TA is also the person that parents and carers contact if there are questions or anything like that. So you can either email the TA through the Compass emailing, or you can phone the school and say, I would like to speak to this person. Next year, you will see that some TAs are 5 days, so it's the same person across the 5 days. Sometimes we have the shared classes as well. We also have a fantastic wellbeing service. We have lots of services around Eaglehawk Secondary to help support your children here at Eaglehawk Secondary College. We have Miss Roy, who is our Disability Inclusion Officer, who will be able to talk a little bit more, and she will be here afterwards as well to answer questions.
Hi everyone, my name is Caroline Roy. I'm the Wellbeing and the Disability Inclusion Leader. So I cover the whole school. I'm not based in one community, but I hopefully support and lead wellbeing and disability inclusion across the whole area. So part of our wellbeing services here at Eaglehawk Secondary, we've got a whole range of different things that some are slightly different to what you've had in primary school before. We actually have access to our Doctors in Secondary School program. So once a week, we have a GP who is linked to Bendigo Community Health. They actually come on site and they do bulk billing appointments for students. We have a nurse that comes with them, and at this stage, it's on a Wednesday. It shouldn't be changing for next year, but it's on a Wednesday between 9 and 1. We book appointments through the main office. And any of our students can actually come and do that. Even if your child is sick on the day and doesn't come to school, they can still make an appointment and come and see the doctor on campus, and then can go home if they're sick. They can do some minor procedures, they can do some referrals. There's obviously some things they can't do because we can't have everything on site, but you can contact the office for an appointment if you need, and parents are welcome to come to the appointments as well. We have a mental health practitioner, and that is via referral and via parent consent. So if we have some mental health concerns or we need to have a bit of a chat, we can refer through our wellbeing team to our mental health practitioner. The mental health practitioner will always call families or carers for consent before they work with your child. So our mental health practitioner is 0.5. The other 0.5 of his role is occupational therapist. So he can actually work with students, look at their sensory needs, do some assessments. We run some programs such as Empower Ed, which is building up social skills. We run Community Bricks, which is a Lego group. So it's a fine motor skill program, but it's also about social skills. And we run a few other things as well as we're developing them. We have 2 youth workers and 1 social worker on our team, and they're in every community. So we have someone in each community who's a regular contact for students. We can check in with students as we need. Someone calls us and said, "Yeah, hey, can you just check in with Flo Joe?" Said, "Absolutely, we can go check in." Or we can have an official referral process through our wellbeing team, and we can make it a more formal weekly, fortnightly session. We help with referrals out to other external agencies as well. And we try and work really closely with any agencies or supports that you've already got in the community through the care team process, so that we're all on the same page to help everyone. We currently have the school chaplain who works 2 days a week as well. That's funded by Chorus. And again, similar to like the social worker and the youth workers, they check in with students. They don't preach religion. They're there as that support. They might take a walk around the oval, have a bit of a chat. Again, the referral process happens with that as well. We also have a school nurse on site with you 2 days a week. And the school nurse is about education. So we have our first aiders around the school. They deal with the first aid and the medical things that happen. But our school nurse works with families, works with doctors around things like anaphylaxis plans, asthma plans, any major medical conditions. And she'll work closely with plans and for staff to know what's going on with your child. She upskills our staff on how to work and deal with things like diabetes, and she is there 2 days a week. Then we also have the Empower Ed and the Community Bricks program that I talked about, but we also have Grow, which is our gardening program. We have a whole space with beautiful garden beds, lots of flowers, lots of veggies, lots of herbs. It's in abundance at the moment. And we have sessions that students go down there. They work in small groups. It's usually 4 students to 1 education aid. And again, it's getting hands in there. It's that hands-on learning, but it's all about the social skills and developing their communication skills, their resilience, all of that kind of thing. So now it's over to.
Thank you. All right, now we are getting into the schedule and what school will look like. So this is everything was important, but this is really important. So your child and students who are here, you will do 20 sessions per week. Each session is 70 minutes long. 4 sessions of English, 4 sessions of maths, 2 sessions of phase, 2 of humanities, 2 science, 4 sessions of art, performing art, design, technology, 2 sessions of core. So with the 4 sessions of those, what we may call electives, they rotate over a period of time. So in years 7 and 8, you get to experience a lot of electives. For when in year 9 and 10, you start thinking about what your future is and how to tailor your learning towards that as well. We do have some questions about core. Core is a subject that is just for year 7 students. This subject really looks at our values here at Eaglehawk Secondary College, but it also assists your child to be a student of Eaglehawk Secondary. How to submit assessments, the values of the school, and everything that's important of transitioning from primary school to secondary college, which can be quite scary. Structure of each day. We have 8:50 where the bell rings. 9 o'clock, as I said before, TA starts. That runs from 9 till 9:20. We have session 1 and 2, and then we have lunch. Lunch goes for 40 minutes. Now, another huge question that came out from the students about visiting the primary schools, can I please go down the street at lunchtime? No. And that was the very simple answer that I gave. Students are not allowed to leave the school unless there is permission from the families through calling the school and the students signing out. We then have session 3, then recess goes for 30 minutes, session 4, and then finishing at 3:10. I do know that for some of the students I visited, this was 5 or 10 minutes earlier than what they were used to, and they were quite excited about that fact. We have our upcoming statewide transition day. This is a very exciting time. So this day is the 9th of December, so we are coming up to it very quickly. This is their first day where they get to experience high school. They will get dropped off by yourselves, by parents and carers, and picked up as well. What will happen is we will all meet together for an assembly, and this is where students will find out their TA, so their class. Then, after an assembly, they will be able to engage into a lot of activities and kind of like trial some subjects. And it's about their experience and having a go at secondary college. This day is just for the year 6s coming into year 7. There will be no other students on site, which makes them feel a little bit more comfortable. There will be further communication from this from your primary schools and also through our socials at Eaglehawk Secondary, but it will be required to pick them up at 3:10 or have them know how to get home. Our 2026 program. So the first week of school looks a little bit different. What we have is obviously the public holiday on the 26th. On the 27th, there will be no students required at school. On Wednesday, the 28th, this is where we begin our Ready to Learn interviews. I will chat about that in a moment. This is for the year 7s to come. And then there will be another session available on the Friday. This is what the first week looks like because during our Ready to Learn interviews, it is a time where you, the student, can meet with the TAs. You have a time, an interview where you can meet, you can discuss, you can set goals, you can have a look at some things that you may be questioning at the start of the year. Please note that the students are not required on the other days and booking will open about a week before on campus so you can book your time. And this is similar to primary school where you can book a time to see your teacher to do your interview. This is where the parents and guardians have their first contact with the TA and the students as well. Before we do that, I just wanted to have a chat about the class structures, just keeping in mind that we put a lot of planning into the class structures and the TAs based on the primary school's suggestions and looking at a whole range of things as well. So the statewide transition day, students are going to feel a bit nervous. There'll be mixed feelings and emotions as well, but we have put a lot of planning into that and also, as I said, suggestions from primary schools. Now, we're almost finished. We've left the two most exciting things for last. Borough Day. Now, when I went out to the primary schools, so many students were like, what about Borough Day? Can you tell me about Borough Day? Now, Borough Day planning is already underway. It is the last week of February, and it's where all students come for a really incredible day. We have activities such as the zone, we have I know that some of the students during our big day out would have had the meltdown and everything like that. It is a huge day of fun, activities, and it's about building community. It is such a fantastic chance for the year sevens to come along and really be a part of the Eaglehawk Secondary community. So we really encourage everyone to come along, and there are even lots of fun prizes that you can win, and I have been chatting about that to students as well. Last one is our year 7 camp. Now, I've even heard a few whispers about the excitement that we get to do camps every single year. That is something that we pride ourselves on here at Eaglehawk Secondary, where all students are given the opportunity to have a camp every year. In year 7, we highly recommend that all year 7 students come. Again, it can be a nerve-wracking time. It can be a bit anxious about going away with people, but it is the best chance to connect with peers, to connect with teachers, and everything like that. We are going to Lady Northcote. It is on the 16th of March for 2 nights, and we get to experience heaps of fun activities like high ropes, the giant swing, canoeing. I don't know if any of the year 6 students know, but the Gaga pit is always a huge thing. And we tend to get a lot of letters from students about getting their own Gaga pit as well. Obviously, there is a cost to that, but we have been able to chat about the CS funds as well. So, at the moment, that is all of the information. I understand a lot of you would be feeling overwhelmed with the information, but we still have we have 15 minutes to have a chat, to talk about some questions that you might have and some things that we may not have covered. We have Mr. Smythe, who is very knowledgeable, as he said, about the assessment and reporting. We have Miss Hollis here. We have Miss Roy at the back, who is about well-being, if you have any questions. Mr. Hart, he doesn't always just go on the sausages and cook food. He can also answer questions as well. We also have Mr. T, who is in charge of the sports program. So if you would like to ask some questions, it is a really great time. Don't forget to pick up your packs if you haven't already. If you weren't able to find your name, we can assist you with that. And also, we have the sport program applications. Thank you so much again. I really appreciate it.